Teams may be fighting for Deion Sanders' coaching services in the near future. This year, he's Coach of the Year candidate after getting Colorado in a position to make the Big 12 championship game in the college football playoff. With his success and knowledge that his son Shador will be entering the draft, some are convinced Coach Prime will move on to greener pastures. But Deion says he's happy where he is. Prime time.
I'm happy where I am, man. I'm good. I got a kickstand down. You know what a kickstand is? A lot of people in there not of age don't know what a kickstand is. I mean, I'm resting. I'm good. I'm happy. I'm excited. I'm enthusiastic about where I am. I love it here. I truly do. Next question.
I've had people tell me I walk with a kickstand. I don't know, something's weird with my leg. I'm just saying. Dan, is it best for Deion to coach in college? Like I made you smile.
Yep.
You smiled.
All right.
In college?
I love how Dan wants to stick to this
in
script,
college or the NFL?
I like Deion in college football. I like Deion going to the SEC more than if he ever went to the NFL. I love him at Colorado. Let me be very clear with that. I think Deion just puts off the vibe of the CEO of a building, an organization. Not that that's not relevant in the NFL, but in the NFL, the quarterback becomes in many ways the most important person in the building. In college football, it's the head coach. It always is and always will be. I also look at it like this. Deion's on this head coach trajectory that's like awesome. What he's done with Colorado is absolutely spectacular. Guys, if we look at some of the guys, coaches that have been phenomenal head coaches in college football, whether long-term or had immediate success and then bolted to the NFL over the last, let's call it 20 years, Urban Meyer, not successful. Matt Rule, not successful. Cliff Kingsbury, not successful. Chip Kelly, not successful. Doug Marrone, Greg Schiano, Bobby Petrino, Nick Saban. The only guy that's really jumped that you can say definitively really good when it came to the college football and into the NFL was Harbaugh.
Yeah.
And maybe Bill O'Brien, because he had some success in Houston.
That's fair.
Other than that, it's just a different world. And I'm not saying Deion doesn't know it. I just think Deion can firmly plant a flag as a great college football coach, and I think he could be really good. We just have a lot of evidence of great college coaches that have struggled in the NFL. And I don't know the reason why.
Can I just ask a question? What do all those names have to do with Deion? What do all that, honestly?
They were really good and really successful college football coaches.
But what does that have to, so because Matt Rule wasn't successful in the NFL, that means Deion Sanders can't be successful?
No, but when we have Matt Rule, Cliff Kingsbury, Chip Kelly, Doug Marrone, Greg Schiano, Bobby Petrino, Nick Saban,
Are you
Urban
saying
Meyer,
Deion's an outlier, Kimberly?
Why can't he be?
I'm not saying he can't be.
So that's my only retort. The question is better for Deion. The answer to that question is whatever the hell Deion wants to do is the answer. But when we talk about the NFL, this season, we've been talking about Bryce Young, development of Bryce Young, Caleb Williams, Justin Fields, Zach Wilson. We talk about how teams don't develop quarterbacks. They don't build winning programs, winning culture. And when I think of Deion, that's literally what he's done. I can't say where Deion should go. That's something that Deion Sanders and his family will decide. But there's nothing about Deion's track record at Jackson State or Colorado that says to me, you know what? He should stay in college and not go to the pros. Every guy you mentioned shined in college, and that's why NFL owners were like, you know what? Let me take a look at him.
Right.
Let me get the next best thing. Okay, that opportunity should also exist for Deion, and there's no reason why. But there's just no reason why we can definitively say, oh, no, he needs to remain in college.
Oh, I'm not saying I like him better in college. I'm not saying he will be a failure in the NFL. I don't think Deion will fail at anything. But what I'm saying is I like him in college better because he's the most important person attached to the program, where in the NFL, it's the quarterback more often than not. And I also, just using examples of, there's been a lot of great college head coaches that went to the NFL and it didn't work out. We have way more evidence of it not happening than it is happening.
Deion and I go back decades, and I was on the phone with Deion when the Florida State job opened. I called him because I wanted to make sure that was a job that he was going to pursue, because I thought that he's somebody that the university should have instantly gravitated towards. He's All-American there, elite cornerback, etc. Florida State went the route of Norvell. Even though he had an outstanding season last year, the number one reason I thought that was a mistake on their part was because I knew that Deion Sanders has the potential to be an elite recruiter. And that's what I think about when I think about him in college football. I also think about this other element. I know how passionate he is about kids because he had an opportunity to really shine and explode in this industry. And it wasn't a priority to him over coaching his kids when they were in prep school. I'm not talking about just his sons. I'm talking about kids, period. He loves, facilitating that process from boyhood to manhood. It's very, very important to him. He's very, very passionate about it. So the answer to this question for me would be college as opposed to the pros. But there's a caveat there. It's just me. He hates when I say this. I appreciate what the program did for him at Colorado. I'm just not interested in seeing prime time in Boulder, Colorado.
So
when I think about prime,
I get that.
I really, really wanted. I really wished he could have succeeded Saban at Alabama, or Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M, or to me, Florida should be calling him. I don't think he should go to Florida State because you had your chance.
I think there's another team,
and he was one of your own. And you didn't do LSU too. Let's not forget that because Brian Kelly is really struggling there. But what I'm saying is, when I think about Deion staying in college, I think the ideal place for him would be the SEC.
Somewhere with more cachet, absolutely.
But you want him on Saturday night, 7:30,
there you go.
He
ABC.
paid his dues.
That's right.
Right?
This joke that I say to Deion all the time. I tell him, I said, the brother's so prime time, you don't even think about him in the daytime. When you see him on in the daytime, there's just something that ain't right about seeing him when the sun is shining. No. He needs to be under those bright lights that's shining on you at nighttime because it's a nationally televised game on ABC Saturday night. That's what you think. That's what you need when you prime time. And if it ain't that, then it's the NFL. Because I think that
I agree.
I think that he is a leader of men.
I hope he stays in college for that reason.
Well, I think he's a leader of men, but I would tell you, as much as I would love to see him as a Dallas Cowboy, considering who they are, or even the Las Vegas Raiders, because the Raiders are in Vegas, as much as I would love to see that, as a friend and somebody that loves him dearly and knows him, with the conversations that we have had over the years, I would tell you there's nothing that makes him happier than watching boys become
We got to leave
men.
it there. Yeah, and that's where I think the game of life is bigger than the game of sports, and he can have such an impact in these young men and in their character.
I might turn